Hello students, this is Mrs. Farragut. In today's lesson we're going to be talking about place value. Your objective is, I can represent a number in multiple ways such as expanded notation, word form, and numerals. We're going to begin our lesson discussing periods. A period is a group of 3 digits separated by commas starting from the right. Let's use a place value chart. So on the right, I'm going to begin with my units period. Then I'm going to jump to my thousands period, my millions period, and my billions period. Underneath my units period, I have my ones, my tens, and my hundreds. To separate my thousands from my units, I place a comma. Under the thousands period, I have my thousands place, 10,000s, and 100,000s. Again, to separate the millions from the thousands period, I place another comma. Under your millions period, the pattern is going to continue. You're going to have your millions, then you're going to have your 10 millions and 100 millions. What do we need to separate the billions period from the millions? That's right, a comma. And in the billions period, we're just going to go up to the billions. Now let's talk about the place, the location of a digit in a numeral. If we have the number 187,456,223 and we want to know where do we find each of these digits in the place value. So using a place value chart, this will help us organize our information. If you put the numbers underneath each place, it'll be very easy to locate where each digit lives. So let's take the 1 in the 100 millions place. So it lives in the 100 millions. Let's look at the 8. The 8 lives in the 10 millions. The 7 lives in the millions place. The 4 lives in the 100,000s place. The 5 lives in the 10,000s place. And the 6 lives in the thousands place. The 2 lives in the hundreds place. This 2 lives in the tens place, and this 3 lives in the ones place. So again, the place is the location of the digit in the numeral. Now let's talk about the value. How much is each digit worth? So let's take the same number, 187,456,223. The value of the blank is blank. So we're going to begin with our 1 in the 100 millions place. The value of the 1 is 100 million. Let's take a look at the 8 in the 10 millions place. The value of the 8 is 80 million. The value of the 7 is 7 million. The value of the 4 is 400,000. The value of the 5 is 50,000. The value of the 6 is 6,000. The value of the 2 is 200. The value of this 2 is 20. And the value of the 3 is 3. Now I want you to stop this video and reflect on what is it when we talk about periods? What does that mean? What is the place, the location of the digit? How do you find that? And the value. How can you figure out the value of each digit? Give yourself about 1 minute to reflect and then continue with this video. In the next part of this lesson, we're going to talk about ways to show numbers. One way is to write it out in standard form. It's just the number. And you place your commas in the correct location. Remember, commas separate periods. Expanded notation is another way to show numbers. The numeral is expanded into the value of the digit that makes up that number. So I like to think of it like blowing up a balloon. We're expanding it. We're going to be doing the same thing on the numbers. It shows the digit multiplied by the place value that the digit represents. Place the number of zeros above each place. This is the number of zeros that you will use to write the number in expanded notation. So this is a little tidbit to help you when you're writing expanded notation. So what we do is we place the numbers on top. Your ones has no zeros, so we put a 0. Your tens place has 1 0. Your hundreds place has 2 zeros. Your 1000s place has 3 zeros, and so on. So again, this is important, boys and girls. Write those digits right there on top of the chart because this will really help you. Okay, so let's take the number 187,456,223 and write it in expanded notation. So let's begin with our 1. Our 1 is in the hundred millions place. So we're going to begin by writing, we put parentheses between each of the places, and then we put the add symbol when we're adding each place. But I'll show you that, I'll model that for you. I do want you to remember that there's 8 zeros in 100 million. So what I would write down is parentheses 1 times 100 million. And again, there are 8 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to add my plus symbol. Now my 8. I would write down 8 times 10 million. Here there's 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus 7 in the 1 millions would be 7 times 1 million. Plus 4 times 100,000. Plus 5 times 10,000. Plus 6 times 1,000. Plus 2 times 100. Plus 2 times 10. Plus 3 times 1. Again, these digits written above the place value chart tell you how many zeros are going to be in that place. Okay, now if I was to find the total sums of each of these parentheses, we would see that the sum would total up to the same answer, the same number. So again, expanded notation, it's like blowing up the numbers like a balloon, and you're taking that number and multiplying it by the place that it's in. So here's some more examples. These are coming from your assignment. So if you have the numeral in standard form, 4,839,980, and you want to write it in expanded form, I highly recommend you draw a place value chart. You record your digits inside your chart, and then you put the number of zeros on top. Then it's so much easier and it helps you. So the first one we would begin would be 4 times a million plus 8 times 100,000 plus 3 times 10,000 plus 9 times 1,000 plus 9 times 100 plus 8 times 10. If you notice, there's a 0 in the ones place. So we do not have to record that here. We can just leave it off. And when I add them up, it would give me the total sum of 4,839,980. Take 6. If I have the numeral 3,197,485,026 and I want to write this in expanded notation, I would create the place value chart, record my numbers underneath the chart, and then record how many zeros are in each place. So we first begin with the 3 in the billions place. So we're going to multiply 3 times a billion. How many zeros are in a billion? There are 9. So I write 3 times 1 billion, and I place my parentheses. Then I place my plus symbol next to it. I move on to the next number, which is 1 in the 100 millions place. So I record 1 times 100 million. Then I move to my 10 millions place, which is the 9, and I record 9 times 10 million. Then I move on to my 7 in the millions place, and I record 7 times a million. Then I move on to the 4 in the 100,000s place. So then I record 4 times 100,000. I do the same thing for the 8 times 10,000, and the same thing for the 5 times 1,000. But look, here in the hundreds place you have a 0. You do not need to record anything. So we're going to move to the tens place. So you're going to record 2 times 10 plus 6 times 1. When you add them up, it gives you the sum of 3,197,485,026. Another way to show numbers is word form. Write the number using words. So here we have our number that we're going to write in word form. And if you notice, it's separated by the periods. So we read those 3 numbers here in the period, and then we add the name of the period that it's in. So for example, we have the number 187. The comma represents million. So we write down 187 million, and we place our comma. Now if we move to the thousands period, we have 456, and then the comma represents the thousands. So we record 456,000, and we place our comma. Now in the units period or ones period, we have the numbers 223, and we do not put a comma at the end, or we do not say what period it's in. When it doesn't have the period, we already know that we're talking about our units. So in word form, we have 187,456,223. In your assignment, you're going to have some other problems that you have to write in word form. So here are just 2 examples. So if you have 4,839,980 and you write it in word form, you would write it as 4 million, 839,000, 980. On example B, you're going to the billions place. So here you begin by writing 3 billion, 197 million, 485,026. So in this lesson, you learned about periods, place, the value, ways to show numbers, standard form, expanded notation, and word form.